So I'm originally from Chaska, Minnesota, and so I grew up in the suburbs, and that was always fun. But also growing up, my mom's family has a farm in Scranton, North Dakota, which is cool. It's like only 60 miles southwest of Dickinson, where we're at right now. And so we would go every summer and winter and just help out on the farm when we could. And we weren't helping, we were just having a good time. So I always grew up really enjoying that. And so I've always enjoyed North Dakota. So when picking where to go to colleges, North Dakota was one of the states, I was like, I kind of want to find a spot to go there. Eventually, UND was kind of the last school that I was looking at. And the reason was because we were on the way to my family farm, and my mom actually is an alum of UND. And she's like, we're gonna go, this is the weekend we're doing it. And I truly felt like it was a home feel, different than I felt at other states. So my game plan right now is I have applied to dental school, and I'm hoping to get into one of those in the next coming years. And then on top of that, I'd like to use dentistry as kind of a catalyst for other business things that I'm interested in, because that hasn't been lost on me. I'm still an accounting and entrepreneurship major. I'm passionate about starting businesses and all that. So my goal would be to kind of use dentistry as this stable venture that allows me to do other things as well. Part of this is I'm really passionate about internships, because I had an internship, which is super cool, another fun fact, with Kevin O'Leary. That was genuinely nuts. That was really cool, and that made me fall in love with private equity and venture capital. And then I had another pretty serious one this last summer that I was this is actually a company I could genuinely work for after graduation, and just experiencing the day-to-day reality of what that is, just knowing that was definitely not going to be for me. I'm so grateful I got that experience in college, because if I got that outside of college, there's a good chance I'd spend a year doing something I really didn't like, only to have to go back and figure out what I wanted to do. So an interesting thing that college does is it takes what you think you once knew and warps it in so many different ways, and by the time you get kind of shot out of it, you're a whole new person, and almost always a better person. College is 80% outside of the classroom, and getting those experiences, maturing, finding out who you are, and 20% about the actual academics of what it means to go to college. So I started coming to the student government meetings. I started talking more than I probably should have, and people seemed to think that what I was saying was good. And I got asked to be a part of maybe becoming a senator, or even maybe running for an executive position like the president or vice president. And I'll be very honest, when I was in high school, I was not a student government guy. I was people were you would be pretty good at running for president, why would you do that? I'm that's weird. People that do that are weird. And then Sadie Hansen, who was the state board member before me, she was looking to find other people that'd be interested in taking her position, and I was well, I would be maybe interested in that. And I had no idea the scale of what it meant. At the time, I was that would be cool. I mean, I could go on this board. I didn't even know it was a voting member. I was I'll just speak on what students have been telling me, what I've been on campus and what I feel. And then the students seemed to think that I could be good at it, and so I got selected as one of the three, and the governor ended up choosing me, which was, again, something that I've never ever expected to experience, but it's been amazing. So, and then you meet all these people, and they're extremely genuine. I remember meeting with Chair Black at UND, and we didn't even talk about board business. We were just talking about football, and I was that's cool. And you kind of realize that the board is still a very North Dakota-centric board, meaning people, they're in the position because they care about North Dakotans and they care about the future of higher education, not specifically for one institution, but for all the 45,000 students that are within the state. So for that to be for it to be so student-focused is really cool to see. And it's hard to explain that to people unless you like actually know the names of all these board members and like interact with them. It's hard to see that in others. It's hard for me to believe that that's happening in other places in the same way. Like board members probably see me as like a little bit immature, and all these students probably see me as like this mature guy. So I'm like right in between, in the middle of that both. So I feel like service has been in my family for a long time. My grandma is like the head of pretty much all the things in our town. Like that, she was the president of our church. My uncle now is the president of our small town church and the chairman of the board of the co-op. And my mom has volunteered my entire life. My dad has volunteered through his different like business things that he's been a part of. And so like, I grew up in that sense of like kind of serving other people. I also think I'm really like, I'm like personally blessed in many ways. And so out of that, I have the ability to serve. And so in my world view, like if I'm able to do it, I should be doing it. And that's just kind of probably how I was raised, to be honest with you. Also like from the farm, like just hard work has always been a thing for me. My mom just said that I should. Like growing up, she was just like, why would you not? And so that was always a thing, like in my life, like, why would you not go and become the best piano player you possibly can be? Why would you not go and become the captain of the soccer team? Why would you not get an A in that class that you can get an A in? Why would you not go and be on the State Board of Higher Education? What's interesting about being an NDSA and on the board is you find more and more gratitude for what you've been given as a student and what went into like all those decisions and opportunities that you now have as a student. And so like, I'm just extremely grateful as a student for what I've been given, and I recognize that that's only been given to me because of like decades of board experience, NDSA advocacy, and all the other things that go into the governance of the NDUS. So just extremely grateful for all that. And you get a cool behind the scenes look of what goes into all those decisions when you're on the board, which has been awesome for me to experience.